Bang, bang, Southern Fried Gang. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Southern Fried Gang. Bang, bang. It's time to do this thing. Y'all, I'm in a good mood. It's a Saturday night. I've got sports questions and I need answers. And I know that you guys will provide them for me. Yeah, there he is, Mark. He literally just texted me. Mark, yeah, my bad. I meant to text you earlier. I had it set up for a couple of guests to come on, and it kind of left me stranded there last minute. So, yeah, I've been a little busy. I did forget to text you, though, Mark. That is my bad. I'll take my crow. But we've got some great sports talk to get into. How bad can it get for the Atlanta Braves? Super regionals are going on. We've got that to talk about. We've got a story I'm fixing to tell you here in just a minute. And then one of these guests did show up, of course. I can always count on this guy. Pensman in the house. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
What's going on, JD? What's going on, man?
Yeah, I was just talking about I didn't get to let Mark know I was going live. So we got you guys here, though, that's showing up. I'm sure we'll have some more. Rowdy Rooster and Madcraft, they both have the link. And so that's where I was going to start out with that. So we just had a crazy storm come through. And, of course, it knocks out the power for both Madcraft and Rowdy Rooster. And I text my parents. My parents don't have power. So we had like a little thunder and lightning storm come through and knock out a bunch of power. That's not even the worst part. I know. That's not even the worst part, though, Pensman. The worst part is I watered my garden right before it rained. Yeah.
Farmer
right
JD.
Before it rained. Yeah. Watered my garden. And then it rained. We've got Gamecock Chuck here.
You just wanted to make sure your garden got watered.
Right. Yeah. And I didn't know it was going to rain. It did, though. It rained. It rained good. It rained hard. And it knocked out some power. And speaking of power, let's talk about Tyrese Haliburton. Does he have superpowers? Because this clutch player I'm seeing in the playoffs should not have been voted. He should not have been voted the most overrated player in the league by players. What were they thinking?
He got snubbed.
Like, I guess you got to vote for somebody to be overrated, but I get Tyrese Haliburton, he took that personally. He took it personally. Pensman, would you agree with that?
I do.
Man, that's wild. Let's see what other random stuff. Oh, so my other random stuff to start off this show with. Again, appreciate y'all being here. Let's see what Gamecock Chuck says. Oh, ye of little faith, let the good Lord water the garden. I cannot argue with that. Touche. But it hadn't rained in a few days. And I've got one plant. I gotta drill some holes into the container for the plant because it's holding too much water, Chuck. It's getting too saturated, and then I got to move it out to the sun for 8 days. These planters that I bought were not very good. They were not worth the money of putting plants in them, apparently. Golly, planters are getting cooked on Southern Fried Sports.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, we've got Pensman, though, here with us this evening, y'all. Like I said, we're going to take our time this evening. I have not mentioned GreenvilleSportsMedia.com, Arden's Burger and Grill, Beef and Rib. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you're listening right now. Pensman, go look him up on YouTube at Pensman Sports. And then I always forget what your Twitter handle is, Pensman, but y'all know where to find him.
Sports.
Follow him. We're all just trying to help each other grow.
That's right. That's what we need to do, us small YouTubers. We need to help each other.
Yeah. No point in not helping one another. I mean, I've had guests on this show. Oh, that's one thing I got to mention. That just led me somewhere entirely different. But yeah, I've had
segue.
Yeah. So I've had like random YouTube streamers on my show. I've had guests like Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered, Kelly Ford of KFordRatings.com. We've had on Moving the Chains, who covered high school football here in South Carolina. Susan Lloyd, she's a sideline photographer for Clemson. So, like, I've had my share of guests. And I know that sports are fun. And they get really fun. Y'all, I'm going to try to play this audio for you if I can get to it. But sports are fun, okay? And they're even more fun when you can come on and roast somebody about their sports takes. And so, Super Regionals with Coastal Carolina, they're playing this baseball game. They're looking to go to Omaha. But Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered did not give them much of a chance at all. And Coastal Carolina took his YouTube video and turned it into this. And like I said, I'm going to try to play this audio for you guys. So, Pensman, what I'll do, I'll play just a few seconds of it. You let me know if you can hear it okay. Okay?
All right.
And then I'll know if I can continue. But if not, I'll summarize it as it goes. But this is Coastal Carolina.
Can I make one suggestion?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I make one suggestion? Go to commercial break and see if you can wire yourself up because your connection is starting to lag.
I am wired up.
I don't know if it's because of the storm or not. Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out because you're lagging a little bit.
Okay. Anybody in the stream, let me know if I'm lagging or not. That's weird. Yeah, but I am hardwired in.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if you were hardwired in or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Go ahead and play it and see if I can listen to it, and I'll let you know.
Yeah. We'll see what it says, though. But this is Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered regarding Coastal Carolina and Auburn.
Coastal Carolina respectfully, lovingly get eaten. What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? So they can eat. It's about time.
I don't know if y'all can hear any of that. Here, let me just
a little bit.
let me summarize it for you. So, Chris Phillips, he came out and said there's no chance that Auburn is losing to Coastal Carolina in the Super Regionals. Coastal Carolina beat them in 2 straight games. Last night in extra innings, and then again today. As a matter of fact, I've got the YouTube short on my channel when Coastal took the lead on it was a swinging bunt, but it was a bunt. So I've got that up on my channel. But Coastal Carolina, their social media director, he put out a video with Chris Phillips takes and basically just like responded to him after they won. So it was like the most respectful and honorable way to, be like, hey, you were wrong, but this is how I'm disagreeing with you. And it's honorable and respectable the way they did it. I encourage you to look up the video. It's Coastal Carolina Athletics on X. But it is fantastic. They roast this dude for his takes. They do it respectfully. And not only that, Coastal Carolina is going to Omaha. Isn't that just fantastic, Pensman?
That's right.
Am I still lagging on your end?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
It's only when I first started and you kept going, but it seems like the signal's stronger now.
Okay. Good deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, they eventually took. I'll see if I can get this screenshot here. Let me see. Where did they make him a clown?
And Mark is right about what he's just said.
All right.
You see Mark's comment?
Yeah, Chris seems to forget the Coastal won the College World Series. They're legit. They are legitimately the best team in South Carolina for like the last 10 years.
Easily.
I mean, South Carolina, they haven't been past a super regional. Clemson has not been past a super regional.
Which got smoked by Kentucky.
And West Virginia.
Yeah.
And listen, I picked them to go to the College World Series. I was wrong. And that's going to lead us to a new question here in a few minutes, too. So y'all stay tuned for that. But listen, Coastal, so they used Facebook IA or what their meta, like, oh God, what even AI, IA. I'm talking about IA. AI. So they used the Facebook artificial intelligence.
Savannah Bananas could take them.
They got this picture, though, of Chris Phillips on SEC Unfiltered. It's just him
crazy
with a clown face. And so, yeah, I mean, they did it in the most respectful way and everything. Savannah Bananas could take him. Could take who? The Braves? Minecraft? We'll get into that Braves content a little later as well.
Is he talking about Coastal Carolina or what?
Yeah, maybe. Because, I mean, we are talking about the super regionals right now.
That's what I'm wondering. I wonder if he's talking about them or what.
Yeah. Let's see. He said that. So we got Mark. We got that. And then, yeah, Madcraft, Savannah Bananas. So, congratulations, though, to Coastal. My one big question about the super regionals, though, which one is the most meaningless super regional? Meaning, doesn't matter which one of these two teams wins the super regional, which one of them has no chance, both of them, to not win the national championship. Therefore, the super regional is meaningless. Pensman, who would you pick?
I don't know. Probably Coastal, probably.
Really? No, not for the most meaningless.
Probably. Oh, meaningless. Probably
Yeah,
Clemson.
meaningless.
Probably Clemson.
So yeah, West Virginia has no chance, basically.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I'll take Clemson because they think they're all big and mighty and everything, and then they come up flat on their face.
Right. That is pretty meaningless that Clemson had that regional at their spot.
Mm-hmm.
But regarding these super regional matchups, though, let's ask this question.
Yeah.
Which one of these super regional matchups is the least meaningful? So you got Miami at Louisville, both very good ACC teams.
And
I think
basketball.
no, I'm talking about baseball right now.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
this
just
tournament,
saying,
right.
and basketball, but baseball, it's meaningless.
Yeah, as far as the rivalry goes, but I'm talking about meaningless as far as winning the national championship
Right.
this year.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what
I follow you.
yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I probably didn't articulate that well.
No, you're good, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. So yeah, Miami at Louisville. I think either of those teams could go on a run and win the national championship.
Depends on their bullpen.
Yeah.
They have bullpen issues.
Then you got Florida State, Oregon State, the 8
Florida
and
State,
the
I can see a
9
run.
seed. Yeah, but Oregon State just came back and beat them last night in game 1 in extra innings.
Yeah, I know.
Oregon State's on a heater. And then, by the way, Coastal Carolina, we did mention. You want to know how many games they've won in a row?
How many?
23. Baseball team has won 23 games in a row.
That's hard to do, too.
It is the longest win streak since Omaha was basically created for a team that made it through their super regional, winning that many games in a row. Coastal Carolina just took that record. They took it. And then you've got Arizona, North Carolina. They're going, hey, game 3, right? So game 3 is an elimination game. So can I get everyone to agree that game 3 and game 7 are the two best words in sports? You know, a lot of people say game
Absolutely.
7 is the best 2 words. But that's disrespect to the game 3 of baseball and softball, right, Pensman?
It is, but game 7 is every kid's dream to play in.
Right.
But in college baseball, I guess they don't talk about college baseball that often, so you hear more game 7s than you do game 3s.
Right. Yeah, I mean, even as a kid, if you're playing
Mommy,
baseball,
I want to play in game 7.
right. And well, even if you're playing baseball though.
Right.
If you're playing baseball, you're thinking World Series.
Yeah, game 7
Game
World
7.
Series.
I mean, it is weird that they only do 3 games, but I understand it. I have no complaint about it, but how about can we just make it the 2 best words are elimination game or go home game instead of game 7 game, you know what I mean? Elimination game. It's an elimination game. If you lose, you're eliminated. Or call it a win all game.
Right.
I wouldn't hate that at all.
Nope.
Call it a win all game. Hey, what do you guys think? Madcraft, Chuck, Mark. Should we call it a win all game or an elimination game?
I still want college basketball to be 40 minutes, like college basketball.
What's that?
No, 20-minute halves, and that's it.
I've seen they're looking at changing it.
I still agree with it. It'll go faster.
I don't understand why the women though play 4 quarters and the men play 2 halves. That's my only issue about the college.
I don't know.
You can make it one way or the other. I don't, you know what I mean? You could take the men to the quarters like the women, or you could take the women
They
to
should
the
even it
halves
out. They should
like
even
the
it out
men
because they
would.
have that. They can get used to that when they get to the NBA. But I
Mhm.
don't know.
I like that, Madcraft. Madcraft says we'll call it the SOL game. Season on the line. But we all know what being SOL means in real life. Being crap out of luck. COL.
Family show, family
Yes,
show, family show.
Hey, that's why. Yeah, exactly.
I'm telling the viewers, family show.
Yeah. Eyes up here, Madcraft. I'm watching you. Watching you. But yeah, these regionals though, they've been insane. One of the plays I captured on the YouTube short earlier was oh shoot. There was the one that was the little cue ball. Oh, I got the home run
The
from
Omaha,
LSU. Yeah,
the Omaha.
Yeah, I got the home run.
You did the
That
home
was
run. You did the blooper at home plate.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about those. We
But
did.
you forgot the Omaha home run.
Well, I know LSU hit a home run.
Yeah.
Yeah, LSU. It was a 3-run home run in the 2nd inning, I think. But yeah, I got that on YouTube Shorts. Y'all can check it out. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, hit Pinsman up. Let's see. Oh, I know what I was going to finish up with. My most meaningless Super Regional has got to be Duke and Murray State. There's no way either of those teams will compete for the national championship once they get to Omaha. I trust West Virginia, LSU, Tennessee, Arkansas.
You hold on. Since we're on the air, you said West Virginia. You trust them?
If they make it to the College World Series, I trust them to be more relevant than who I just mentioned in Murray State.
Okay. I just want to make sure I heard that right. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. No, that's all. I'm not saying I trust them to win it all. Right. I'm saying I trust them to win it all more than whoever wins this Duke and Murray State regional.
No, I just want to make sure I heard that right. I was like, I trust West Virginia. I'm like, huh?
Yeah. But like I said, it's more about Duke and Murray State. It's a meaningless super regional. You could just scratch both of those teams off the list right now, and it wouldn't affect what happens in Omaha, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And then, let's see. Tennessee, Arkansas. So, the SEC hate. All right, y'all. Let me address this real quick. I'm so sick of hearing about how everybody hates the SEC because of how good they are or how much they have favor by the committees, and then they end up losing later on. Listen, maybe they are too hyped up. Maybe they are talked about too much. But I tell you what, any of these SEC teams from the college football playoff to March Madness to now the baseball and softball tournament, y'all name me better teams, more lucrative teams, more teams that could have taken their place. You name them, and then I'll tell you that is why all of these programs get favoritism. Okay? You can't say that any of these other teams would have done better than these teams. Sports are weird. You're dealing with college athletes. You never know what you're going to get, in the famous words of Forrest Gump. So, Pensman, can you defend me here, or do you have an opposite take? Can you really expect anybody to be biased against the SEC now? Best facilities, best players, but they suck in the playoffs or the tournament.
I was gonna say, if you can't beat them, figure it out. Everybody's tired of complaining that all you hear about. Well, they're good because they recruit good, their coaches are good. If you can't beat them, figure out what to do to beat them, but make sure it's legal. So that's my take on that. You got to beat them to beat them. The more people that beat them, you won't hear more about them.
Right. And I get it. Nobody likes somebody winning too much. But now, of course, though, that the SEC isn't winning, I feel like people are.
But everything's a season, though. Everything is for a stretch.
Right.
In sports, everything, the New England Patriots, I'm talking about football, I'm going to talk about basketball, but the Patriots, they were for a while. The Bulls, they were for a while. It's just how they are. My Yankees, they were for a while. And then every team is just, they go in these little winning sprouts, and then that's it.
Right.
Teams figured out how. The Dodgers are doing it now. I hate the Dodgers more than anything, but eventually they're going to go down. It's the same thing with the SEC. It's their teams are going to figure out what to do. If they don't figure out what to do to beat them, then they're going to keep winning. But the Big Ten, the ACC is going to figure out something. They need to figure something out.
Yeah, I think the ACC needs to figure it out a little bit more.
Right.
For sure. But yeah, I mean, things are cyclical. That's a $5 word, as Kane likes to say. I don't know where Kane is. He's probably watching wrestling somewhere. Yeah, but yeah, Minecraft. Things are cyclical. But what I don't like now is that a lot of people, like, everybody complained about the SEC and their dominance years ago, but now it's like even more people are throwing stones at the SEC. Like, it feels like they're getting more hate now than they did when they had a bunch of haters years ago when they were winning. It's like now people are hating it even more that they're losing. They're like, "Rawr, where is this SEC dominance?"
They just want something to complain about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, now you're not even winning anymore. Yeah. So now they're mad that the SEC isn't winning.
What's going on, P Digits?
Good evening, good sir. We were just talking about the hatred of the SEC, P Digits. Do you have any takes?
On.
Do you have any takes on the hatred of the SEC? Which, yeah, that was another thing I was going to mention. You know, the Savannah Bananas got mentioned earlier. Here I am trying to watch college baseball.
Instead, he's watching bananas.
Because that's what's on ESPN. All of them are on ESPN, and ESPN took off all of my college baseball to put on bananas. What's that song? This crap is bananas. Bananas. Who was that? I forget the girl that sang that song. Who sang bananas, y'all? But this is bananas.
Somebody help this kid out. Somebody really help him out. He's trying to figure out the bananas song on air. So somebody help him out.
But meanwhile, I've literally got bananas on my TV. I'm trying to watch college baseball. That's two equally bananas things that are happening right now. I can hear the song in my head. I can't remember which one it was.
P Digits, do you know?
It was one of those blonde, crazy women.
Mark says only on Southern Fried Sports.
Fair.
That's definitely fair. You're over here
B
talking about
Bananas. Bananas. I'm talking about bananas.
Here we go. Here we go.
Golly. Yeah, good job, ESPN.
Here we
You just
go.
you just got fried on Southern Fried Sports, ESPN. I'm sitting here trying to watch college baseball. Y'all take the Tennessee Arkansas game away from me, and you put on Bananas, and then you got me trying to figure out who sang the song Bananas.
Pig Digit says zero knowledge.
Golly. Y'all are really going to make me look it up.
So what'd you do this weekend? I was streaming and trying to figure out who wrote this banana song.
This crap is bananas. Bananas. I'm going to find it. Of course, when I search, everything that comes up is Savannah Bananas. Oh my gosh. Let me add song. Golly.
Chat, help me out here.
Gwen Stefani.
Oh, okay.
Gwen Stefani was the singer of Bananas.
Won't look it up either.
No, we've got Ref Brandon jumped in here.
Yeah, the Braves are pitiful. I don't know how they get to get better because I honestly feel like this is the last year they'll have, I guess.
Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah. Drop. Dang it.
Good job, Chuck. All right, Ref Brandon. Yes, we're going to get to the Braves. I have not cooked them yet.
Hey. Game Chuck, he found it.
Yeah, Gwen Stefani, yeah. P. Digits. I didn't say I liked the song. I didn't say I liked the Savannah Bananas either, but here they are on my TV when I'm trying to watch college baseball.
I love that song.
Golf clap, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my.
Golf clap. Hey, what do you know? There's college baseball back on my TV. Oregon State, Florida State, 1-0. Top of the second.
Do they though? Do they really though?
What we got?
I disagree with that one. It's not totally him.
All right. Well, out of respect for Brandon, I was saving the Brave stuff for a minute, but you know what? We'll do it now. So, Pensman, I gotta tell you, I agree. It's time for a managerial change.
I'm in the middle.
Listen. I'm Alex. AA. I'm good. He's good.
I want to ask you and Brandon a question. Since Brandon's here, and he brought it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
If Bobby Cox went through this, would you want him fired? I'll give you a minute.
Oh, well.
It's the same situation because they just won the World Series not too long ago. Bobby Cox won the World Series. I'm just trying to figure out where your minds are. You can't take this all because injuries happen. People coming down, they don't know the system really well.
Right. Okay. And so I hear you. I think a lot of people at first response, this was my first initial reaction, was you can't compare Bobby Cox and Brian Snitker. However, you do have a point. Both only won one World Series. They both have some Eastern Division titles stacked up. The thing about Brian Snitker to me is there hasn't been anything that ever is overly impressing about him, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Nothing really jumped. Nothing jumps off the page. And then not only that, he's been with this organization for so long. And with the roster they have, we should not be talking about them being 12 games back at this point. Like, they are 4-14 in their last 18 games.
Do you expect them to keep up with the Phillies and the Mets every year, though?
Yes.
Every year.
They're the Atlanta Braves. They won 15 straight division titles.
I understand that.
They were ahead of the Phillies and the Mets for a long time. And that might be why it's so hard as a Braves fan.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I'm trying to make you get out of the Braves fan and act and come back to realization.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, I'm saying fire Brian Snitker. I'm saying get him out of here. I'm
Right.
saying that, yeah, the team needs new head coach. Somebody has got to get the culture.
So everybody asked me this question. I'm going to ask you this question. Who are you going to get to replace him?
They just brought back Freddie Gonzalez, so that's who's he's gonna be the interim. But at the end of the year, they need to clean house. And look, here's the thing. If we think about it at your job, okay? Think about this as like you're a job, you're looking for a job, and you're a young and upcoming coach, and you've got a great offense, you got great pitching, you got great defense. Like, you check all the boxes to be a head coach. When are we ever going to come to a point where these teams actually hire these good and young head coaches and give them a chance? It's just like getting a college degree. You got a college degree, but I need you to have 1 year of experience in order to get this job.
Right.
How are you ever going to get the experience if you don't have a job? And so it isn't my job to find somebody that's better. That's what all of those dudes get paid to do in the front office and analytics and all of that stuff.
What if they demote Brian and put Freddie at manager, and then put Brian on third, and then have Freddie manage the team? Would that work, the system?
I mean, I don't know that. No, I don't. I mean, they're not going to do that.
I'm just trying to give you different scenarios. Like,
right. But, I'm just, the whole Freddie Gonzalez thing was pointless. At this point, I don't think there's anything the Braves can do aside from wholesale trading for a whole different team. And it would have to be a much better team, which isn't going to happen. So, Braves at this point, we just got to ride this season out. Because I don't see anything good coming from it. Matt Kraft, I see you over there. You get ready to chime in whenever you're ready.
I didn't want to interrupt. How y'all doing?
no,
Doing
we're good,
sir, man.
No,
Welcome.
You can chime in if you want on this.
Oh, I don't know if y'all want me to chime in on this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna ridicule both of you. We're just fine. We're just fine.
I think everybody wants to hear you make fun of me, Matt Kraft. So I'll encourage you. I'll encourage you again. Go ahead. What couldn't the
No.
No, that's my question. What can the Braves do to be any better this year? Like, seriously, real question.
I have a real answer, and it is that four post remarks that I made on X not too long ago that only like one or two people responded to. The person in question I tagged in it didn't even bat an eye at it. But if you go and repeat and look at those four posts again, that's been my stance from the beginning. So if you want to know what could have increased the Braves' opportunity, I'll say opportunity and momentum to win, then it starts there. And if you want me to elaborate, then I'll just say it starts with the fans starts with the talking heads. It starts with how we all talk about them as collectively as a unit as we can. I actually have a good comparison for that, but I'll let y'all respond.
No, you're good. Madcraft, I want to hear you continue because I think I remember the one where the players need to be happy and the
Well,
social.
that was what you responded with it, but that's not at
Right.
all
No.
what.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. No. I was just making sure was thinking of
Yes.
correct. Okay. Yeah.
And look, and here's a good comparison for this. Think about it like voting, right? So like we all know we're all grown adults in here, right? We all know that like I would hope that we all vote or at least try to vote if we can, but that's besides the point. But we all know that individually, our little opinion, our little one vote really doesn't make any difference. And I agree with that. However, as a collective whole, if there's a strong enough message to increase the sheer momentum that the fans have, behind this party movement or such, then you will see a super increase in effectiveness of everybody involved, not just the people that are showing up to vote. And the reason why I make that comparison is that's the same thing that I'm talking about from the jump, is that when they started 0-7, not a single positive thing has come out of anybody's mouth on an Atlanta Braves talk show at all. Not a single positive metric or positive stat, positive outlook at all. Nothing has been said from the very jump when they started 0-7. And I begged everybody, I said, hey, y'all need to calm down. Let's get this thing on track. But I know that even, I'm into my 30s now, but I used to think differently. I used to think, oh well, a 30-year-old man playing professional league baseball, that stuff can't get to them. They know what they're doing, and that's just flat out wrong. And if you just look at my 4-post thread that I had posted on X, it explains it's just wrong. It affects everybody. Everybody is emotionally affected. So when they go home at night and think, dang, we're not playing good. And that's another question too. Do y'all think, not y'all specifically, but does the entirety hold? Do we think that they just don't notice that they're not playing good? So what good is it to continuously bash? Like, there's been no positivity.
Listen, Madcraft, y'all can go follow him at Madcraft16 on X. Please do, because I think that was articulated very well. I think you said exactly what you wanted to say in that. I mean, all of that stuff is true. I've even said before on this show, Madcraft, I think we forget sometimes that the players are humans. We forget that they're actual human beings. And yes, they hear the crazy stuff that we say. But at the end of the day, some of them have to be able to just tune this stuff out, which remind me, I've got a question about tuning stuff out in a minute that you know about, Madcraft. But you got to be able to tune that stuff out and still go perform. But yeah, of course they know. It's like, oh yeah, we're not playing well. We're losing. 4-14 in your last 18 games. Like,
That's not great.
what can you do to get off of that kind of, like?
Well, but that's
Madcraft,
kind of.
Yeah, if
I could go back to the voting thing though, that's kind of explains that whole point. It's like I'm saying, like, all right, if the message isn't strong enough, if we're not getting enough momentum on board, city love, city support, right, fan support, if we're not getting that, then guess what happens? Your voting levels drop. All right, it's the same thing as when they're in, they go into stadiums, and even when they were playing away games 2 or 3 years ago, it was at least 50 to 60% Braves fans in those stadiums, right? Look at it now. And that's of course, part of it is due to the fact that they aren't playing good. But I think a majority of it is due to the fact that, well, there's just everybody wrapped it up. Everybody called it a season right from the jump. And there was just not any support. But that's all I was saying. I
Right.
also want to say one more thing before I jump out of here. JD, you remember my question I had the other day
Which one?
about it was about the pitch count on collegiate pitchers.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm gonna throw you out a scenario real quick. It happened again. This time it actually happened to the Miami Hurricanes. All right. We threw out our ace in game 1 of this super regional.
Mm-hmm.
He very clear from the jump did not have his stuff. Right. He could not locate anything. He was putting people on base by walking. All this sorts. Okay. By the time the third inning come around, he had given up only 2 runs, not much, but again, he could not locate anything. He had only thrown 15 pitches. So I ask you, we won today, thankfully, but we go into game 3 tomorrow where, we don't really exactly know what's going to happen on the rubber, but how great would it be if we would have pulled that guy in game 1, because obviously he wasn't doing anything. And guess what? We've got our number 1 ace, our go-to guy. We could pitch him at any time. He could start innings 1, 2, 3 tomorrow. He could go 4, 5, 6 tomorrow. But guess what? We let him roll, so we lost him.
Mm.
But anyways, I'm gonna let y'all get back to your show. Really good stuff, fellas.
Hey, I got one more for you though before you run.
it's
All
fine,
right.
Magcraft. It was good take.
Yeah, Mac. Well, Macrap, no, hold on, time out. You're not going anywhere. First of all, just for a minute, anyway. So I'm gonna give Pensman a chance to ask you a question, but there was one more since we just mentioned, getting into players' heads and all of that stuff. I haven't had a chance to talk about the Clemson bullpen, Macraft.
Oh,
There we go. There we go.
There you go.
Dude,
That's the
was
one I need to hear
wild.
about.
That was wild, man. And that was so I found it interesting. I think I made a comment on one of your posts about it where, all the people were in the comments and they were like, oh man, well, it didn't seem to make a difference. And no, it absolutely made a difference. When they first started showing that first picture that came in, I thought it was so funny. I was sitting in the room with somebody and he threw his very last pitch and all of those students were sitting there just chirping at him. And he started to walk out and he made like a smudge on his face, like an angry smudge as he was walking out. And I immediately turned to that person in the room that I was sitting with and I said, they got to him. And sure enough, if he did not go out there and he had an awful outing, that guy was awful. But while this was happening, the commentators kept showing back and they had sent the NCAA official was actually sitting there halfway down the bullpen line. And they had requested him. He got up and went and started telling all those kids, hey, you can't do this, and started regulating it. So then their pitchers started to warm up without all of that hassle. So that's what all these people were saying. They were like, oh, no, it didn't work. No, it absolutely worked. It's just the NCAA stepped in and said, well, wait a minute, this isn't fair. And it's not fair. They were way too close.
Right. Yeah, he came in and regulated that. I mean, that is just wild in general that they allow that to happen. But yeah, the post I asked was, could you block out this noise? I mean, I just can't imagine going through that scenario.
No, that would be wild. I understand sometimes, it happens in high school. And that's kind of where you get your taste of what the game kind of is. But when you get to that collegiate level, there's supposed to be some form of professional decorum. I heard somebody say, and I don't know if the rules are completely accurate on this, but somebody said that there was supposed to be at least 100-foot buffer between.
I think I saw 15 foot. But
See, 15 makes more sense to me. 100 sounds a little outrageous.
Yeah.
But 15
Agreed.
would be more. They were about 6.
Right. Dude, they were probably, they could reach out and grab the pitcher's arm if they want. They could ruin his elbow.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Like, they literally could. I mean, if you're here, I think they could. And so here, before Pinsman asks you one question, Mattcraft, before you go, the one thing I was going to say, responding to what you just said, is if we just saw a head coach of a baseball team call somebody a double F the other day, it's a family show, people. I will not say it, period, what that gentleman said. But just look up Wake Forest head coach. And if he said that, speaking of professional decorum, can you imagine what some of the fans were saying at that bullpen?
Yeah.
Is that to me?
That's it.
But
yeah.
in general.
That's
Well,
everybody.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Let me show you how in tune with the Lord I am. I don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
And I hope nobody does. But yeah, you saw the video of the Wake Forest.
I know what you're talking about, but apparently no one else has looked it up.
Madcraft, he's seen it. You didn't see that?
Well, no.
You didn't see that?
Hey, listen, I'm gonna expect a message from you in a minute explaining to me what this is.
Bro. Yeah, what
I don't know what the word. I can't figure out what he said. I obviously don't say it, but
no, I'm not going to, obviously. But one was a homophobic slur, you could say, on the back end. A bundle of sticks.
okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Bundle of sticks.
Yeah.
And then, and a 4-letter F word in front of that. And then the dude hit a home run. The dude hit a home run, no less. But he is the head coach at Wake Forest and said that to a player.
Yeah.
Since this is a family show, guys, I'm just going to say truck.
Mm-hmm. Truck.
Yeah.
So, Madcraft, I'm going to give Pinsman a chance real quick. Pinsman, Madcraft is a Chargers fan, a Hurricanes fan. Give him one question and let's send him on his way.
You and I are in the AFC. I'm a Steelers fan, as you know. But how do you think the Chargers will do this year?
This year?
This year. Compared to last year.
Oh, okay. Compared to last year. Oh, we'll do phenomenally better. I could answer that short if you want it short, or I can answer it long.
It doesn't matter. Whatever you want, and as long as JD's okay with it, don't matter to me.
Well,
it's Saturday night. What do you guys got going on tomorrow? It's Sunday.
Well, I was telling JD earlier. I
got an empty house. We're good.
My phone is approaching its limit. I've had it for about 9 years, and it's been acting up on me today. So I'm gonna try to make it last as long as I can. But yeah, I'll answer that question. It's specifically compared to last year. We're gonna be miles better. Now that being said, I also believe that at the same time, not only did certain parts of the AFC get better, I think that our AFC West division just got better, which is just unfair if you want to think about it. But I think our biggest play.
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, and I think the biggest play for us specifically is going to be, I think we drafted some key guys that are not only just going to be day ones. I think that we like potentially could see some rookie of the year marks on some of these guys. Specifically in question, I would go with Trey Harris. I think we drafted him out of, it was an SEC, I think, SEC school. Real big body, amazing guy. You know, and then the biggest thing is us drafting our first round pick, Amari and Hampton. I think that running back is going to go beast mode. And especially when you think about it, you know, and you can look on paper all you want. We have arguably a top 3 best offensive line, you know, that we built together. And that's Harbaugh. That's Harbaugh ball. He came in and started doing that right away. Right. It's between Slater, Joe Alt. I don't know if y'all know how big Joe Alt is, but Joe Alt is like 6'9", and like I don't even remember his weight, but he's 6'9".
I think he's 290. I think.
Yeah, I mean he's a wall.
I think he's 290 or 289, something like that.
I'll tell you this: he's 6'9", 290 pounds. Of JD does not want anything to do with it.
No,
is what he is.
But anywho, I think I think we'll do better to answer your question. I definitely think that we'll be playoff bound again, or not again, but you know, I think we'll be making waves in the water. It's just the AFC West it's one of those, you know, it's one of those gauntlets now, unfortunately.
You just got to figure out how to beat the Chiefs.
Well, yeah, really, the big thing is, you know, when we had Phillip Rivers still, we were rolling with like Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler.
Okay, this guy's going.
We were actually, well, but the thing was we were actually the only team in the AFC that was consistently beating them at least once a year. Like we rarely lost both games to them. We always either went 1-1, or in certain cases, we actually beat them twice. Well, like we swept them.
But you got to remember that Patrick Mahomes wasn't in the picture. It was Elvis Gerback.
Oh, no. Patrick Mahomes was there. We were beating them with Patrick Mahomes. We were beating them with Mahomes. We were beating them when they had Mahomes, Kelsey, and Tyreek Hill on the field.
All right.
Okay. Now, the only difference is that we had about 3 or 4 stands in the fans. But that was about it.
Yeah.
Playing in a soccer stadium. But
I was about to say, did you just, Minecraft, I'm pretty sure you just said we had 3 or 4 stands in the fans, which...
No, fans and stands.
No, I know, but that makes sense, though, because it probably was a few little cardboard stands of fans.
I won't deny that some of them were fake. I will not deny that.
Are you talking about the COVID year?
No, they wouldn't even allow cardboard in for the Chargers games.
Man,
everybody else got to put up the stick-ups, but not Chargers games. We didn't have enough fans to fill it out.
Oh, that's so
during
funny.
During the COVID year, you could see cardboard, and they have like smiley faces on them. Yeah,
but you had to pay for that. See, the Chargers fans, we didn't have enough to fill out the stadium, so the NFL didn't allow us to. I'm making that up. That's a joke. But
yeah, hey, no, listen, we're not nationally syndicated, so
and the cardboard box was 6 feet apart too.
I don't think anything. Listen, even though you can believe everything I say, which Madcraft, before you get out of here, I did say that. I think you missed it the other night. I've said this for a long time. I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be on a couch this year, sitting next to me, being the co-host of Southern Fried Sports. He backed out on that deal and signed with the Steelers. And so I made that up too. So it's okay.
Well, you didn't make that up. That happened. No, wait a minute now. First off, I don't think that you would want Aaron Rodgers up here instead of Pinsman Sports. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. And number two, I think that Aaron Rodgers cheated the system. I think that he like forced his way into that. I think he bribed somebody. He was playing in a pro-am golf tournament in South Carolina, I think. And literally
South Carolina or California.
He was
Oh,
from
well, yeah.
California.
No, I thought he was in Myrtle Beach. I thought he was at
That's what I mean. It was either South Carolina or California. One
Yeah.
of those.
Might have been.
He had to fly to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and he flew for their OTAs.
Yeah.
Their optional.
That's this week coming up.
He just kind of showed up and then started working out with them or whatever. And then all of a sudden he had a deal. That's not because Aaron Rodgers went out there and threw a bunch of dimes. Let's just be real here. All right. I think he went in there and talked a little stuff. And I think he bribed somebody. That he should not be signing with the Steelers. They were fine. They don't need him. But I'll end it on that.
Man, that's wild. Yeah, sorry we got to end it on that one. But yeah, Madcraft, that honestly, like I said, I thought that he was going to be sitting on a couch. But then again, all of the signs were there. Madcraft dipped on us. That's fine. His phone probably died. But I mean, the signs were there, Pence. When I said this the other night.
Just look at the schedule. Just pay attention to the schedule. Come on. Week 1.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Against the Packers. Come on.
The Jets at the Bears.
Every day. Aaron Rodgers is going to do this. Aaron Rodgers is going to do that. Aaron Rodgers still not deciding.
We all knew it, dude. I'm telling you. We all knew. But honestly, that's how we knew that was what he was going to do, is because that was his only 2 choices.
And Minnesota rejected him twice.
Not once, but twice.
He rejected him once, then he went to O'Connell and asked, and he said no.
Man, we've killed a bunch of these topics this evening. Let's see what else we got shaking. I'll tell you what, we'll hit a little break real quick.
That would have been interesting, Mark. I agree with that, but it would have been interesting.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. God, yeah, it would have, Mark. I mean, sports are interesting. Everything is interesting.
We do have week 1 against New York at MetLife Stadium, though.
Yeah.
So
that's how I knew Aaron Rodgers. I knew it. The minute everybody knew except everybody.
Hey, Mark, you can buy his mansion in New York. You can get a loan out and you can get his mansion.
About $24 billion.
Something like that. Just take a loan out, and then when you're 90, you can pay it off. Just throwing it out there. I don't know if you want to or not, but just throwing it out there is fun.
My kids would still be paying that off at 90. And that is why we need you to hit like, follow, share, and subscribe on Southern Fried Sports so we can make millions of dollars. Don't forget to share at Pensman. Madcraft did a great job. We're going to come back and wrap it up after a short break. We'll be right back. And we are back, y'all. I don't know. Y'all have been lax on the comments. Send some comments. give us a couple of questions before we get out of here. Pinsman,
Southern.
tell them about how many more wins did Aaron Rodgers gain the Pittsburgh Steelers by signing?
3.
I said the same. So what did the win total go to and from?
9-8 to 12-6.
No! We were way off on those numbers.
I know. That's my opinion. Hold on. If you watch my show, hold on. Stay right there. Do not say a word. If you watched my stream the other day, I made a video. I said, depending on if they have team chemistry, if the team accepts them, and if the defense pulls off like normal, and if the offense clicks, and depends on Arthur Smith and his chemistry, that's the only way they're going to get over 10 wins.
Listen.
Anything's possible. Look at Tebow. Everybody laughed at him when he went to Denver. And he pulled a good performance out in Denver. I don't know. Peyton Manning did the same thing in Denver.
Let's see what Mark says. I don't think they're any better than last year. The problem is, what do they do next year? Listen, I had him pegged for drafting Shador. We had that conversation 100 times. And as I giggled at what Pinsman said, I respect his opinion. The Steelers find a way to win. They do. They do.
Dang it. Yeah.
With Mason Rudolph, though, I had them at 5.
5?
5.
What do you mean 5?
5 wins.
How?
With Mason Rudolph.
He's matured.
I don't see Arthur Smith reinvigorating a good quarterback. Like, look, we've had the Sam Darnolds and the Baker Mayfields.
You're comparing those two?
No, what I'm saying, we've had them be able to come back the second time around. Mason Rudolph, this is going to be his second time around, but I just don't see him being Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield. Not under Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith is a garbage offensive coordinator.
Read that last comment. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that, even though you're an Eagles fan. I appreciate that. Yeah, that one. And he tied with the Lions.
If he won with him before, why did he let him go?
Yeah.
If that was his quarterback for the future, why did he let him go?
Money.
No. Mason Rudolph ain't ever signed a big deal nowhere.
Money. They did no. Mason Rudolph was cheap, but they couldn't afford his contract because of other contracts. They were always above the salary cap. That salary cap has been trashed for the Steelers for a while because of the contracts.
Yeah, but do you see the problem with what you just said?
I agree. But like I said the other day, I can't control what the Steelers do. I'm just the media and Mario fan that brings out the information. What the Steelers do is what the Steelers do.
Yeah, but
they're still working on TJ's contract.
That's a problem. If you couldn't sign a quarterback that you thought might be your future to a cheap contract,
right?
That is a huge problem.
And that's why I disagree with what the Steelers do. They overpay some players, but I have no control over that. People are coming at me like, why they pay them that much money? I don't know.
No, you don't know, but you can bash them for it.
I don't fry people like you do.
Well, no, to Madcraft's point, it matters, apparently. Like
Right.
it matters, yep, to bring it
Oh, it
all
matters.
there,
It's
right?
just I
Yep.
can't do anything about their contracts. But the
David,
reason is because Mason Rudolph came in and they got rid of him because of contracts.
yeah, that's it. I think he's just a practice level quarterback. I mean, honestly, he's not that readily available and stuff. Like if the Steelers couldn't pay him, somebody else, if he was that good, would have been willing to pay him. I think he just has a bright and red, shiny nose.
I know.
Mason Rudolph.
I know. I know. I'm just saying that it's interesting and it's better. I think he matured, but we won't see how he does because Aaron Rodgers signed.
Let's see what Mark defending you again. Let's see what he's got. Nobody said Mason was his QB of the future, but Tomlin has never only
Go out play. Thank you.
5 games in a season, and Rudolph was his QB during some of that. Gamecock Chuck, you left me for forever. Like forever. You were so gone, man. I missed you so much. I could have used your backup a lot. A lot.
Why? I didn't bash you that hard.
No, I got cooked on Southern Fried. How do I get cooked?
Because you talked about bananas. You cooked yourself.
Fair.
You put the-
Bananas. I can still spell it though, baby.
You put the fryers on yourself and you put yourself on the wrong fryer. That's why. You gotta make sure where you put your fryer at, man.
Right. Well, I gotta be honest with you. Oh, Chuck. No, bro. Get out of here, man. Y'all go hit Gamecock.
I had
Chuck.
to put out a quick video. Come on.
No, go do it, bro. Ain't
Wait till
nobody
later.
mad.
Wait till later, Chuck.
Nah, ain't nobody mad. He just mad I ain't talking enough Gamecock, so he had to go put out some Gamecock stuff. No, I'm just kidding, Chuck. Love you, bro. Yeah, man, do your work. Do your work. Y'all make sure to look him up. He's got great videos. He's a lot cooler than I am. I can promise you that. Mark says he would have rather seen them run on with Rudolph like Santa Claus. He didn't say that. I added that. And then get a QB of the future next year rather than signing Rodgers. Yeah, the whole problem is
They're still gonna do that.
Rodgers ain't gonna train nobody though. That's the whole problem. We got people so insecure they can't even train somebody.
Bro, Will Howard is training himself. He's getting
Exactly.
he's getting information from Ben Roethlisberger, and Roethlisberger is even saying that he's could be the next one.
So that used to be the quarterback one's job was to teach. Like, where have we gotten in sports though?
They did that to themselves.
Yeah, so insecure though you can't even share vital information with the guy under you.
Mark, I'm gonna make you mad, but we had a chance to get Jalen Hurts and we missed out. We had a chance to get Hubert, but we missed out. We had a chance, but we I don't know what the reasoning is, but we missed out on so many quarterbacks that we are right now. At 2018, 2019, we should have had our number one pick, and boom, we should have had that future quarterback, and we were gone. We were done. We were set for the future, but we kept on sitting on our hands, and here we are. You sit on your hands too long, and that's what happens.
You sit on your hands too long, and your legs or your hands might go numb. That's my best advice. Chuck, he agrees, except he doesn't think that the Steelers will make the playoffs.
See, I got them in third, making the playoffs and do the one and done.
That's always a good pick with the Steelers. One and done.
Yeah, third in the division and one and done.
I mean, I really hate. I
It's gonna
think
be
that's one of those things for the NFL. If the Steelers are good, it's better for the NFL.
it's go duh. It's gonna be Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh's gonna squeeze in and play somebody in the playoffs and lose. Probably gonna play Buffalo and get smashed.
Yeah, but I mean, what are you doing about the Chiefs and
That's what I'm
the
saying.
Broncos?
That's what I'm saying. We're playing.
And the Chargers.
We'll win enough games, and somebody's gonna lose a stupid game. Watch, it happens every year.
Panthers are going to win the Super Bowl.
In Madden,
No, not even in Madden because I don't even have that game.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking
No,
about.
I know, but I'm saying, yeah, they will not be winning any Maddens around here. Trust me. That's ridiculous. But they do have that weird stat that Pensman. They open up.
What is it gonna be? Madden versus what is it gonna be? Panthers versus Cowboys in the Super Bowl. And Santa Clara.
Yeah, two NFC. No, it'll be at Jerry World. Two NFC team. Yeah, two NFC teams for the Super Bowl in Jerry World. That'll be it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have that weird stat where the Panthers open up with the Jaguars. The last two times they've done that, they made it to the Super Bowl. And Pensman, with all
Call
of that
Cam
said,
Newton up.
we tried that. We tried it.
Call Cam Newton up. Maybe he'll get somewhere.
We tried it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that said, Pensman, tell them where to find you. Give a little parting shot or hockey or something. And we'll get ready to get out of here, brother.
Thank you for bringing up hockey. This NHL Stanley Cup Finals is so terrific. One of the best Stanley Cups, even if the Penguins are not in it this year. But it is one of the streak will not end. Gamecock, come on. The streak will not end. But this Stanley Cup has been one of the best Stanley Cups of my life.
I'm very interested to see if a Canadian team will win the
overtimes,
hockey
JD. 2 overtimes.
Oh, I know. I was watching it. It was, dude, I've seen a lot of comebacks the last few days.
Heck yeah.
And so that'll be my parting shot. Is we saw the ridiculous comebacks against the Braves. How much worse can it get? We saw Oregon State, which is playing right now against Florida State, 1-1, bottom of the fourth. Oregon State last night, huge comeback against Florida State. We've seen comebacks today. We see comebacks for life. And y'all will see me and Pensman come back to life next week on our streams. So y'all make sure to hit subscribe. Don't forget greenvillesportsmedia.com. Arden's Burger and Grill, beef and rib. We love you. We appreciate you. Y'all be blessed, not stressed. And just be kind and respectful. Even if you want to paint a little clown face on Chris Phillips, like Coastal Carolina did. Good night, everybody.